Hello, today we're going to be talking about Wild Hunt Heathcliff because he won the vote and also because he's one of my favorite identities in the entire game, being based off of one of my favorite characters in the entire game, Earl King Heathcliff. So yeah, we're going to have some fun with this. So this Heathcliff skill 1 is a really basic skill 1, increasing clash power of the target has 6+ sinking, and gaining extra coin power for every 3 sinking count on a target with a max of 2, and then the attack itself would inflict sinking but not no sinking count. His skill 2 is really nice. It can actually end up being an AoE skill. What it does is it has increased coin power for every 5 sinking on a target, increased attack weight for every 4 coffin he has on himself, which will be explained later, and then if he's currently wielding Dalahan, his headless wolf, he will have an increased attack weight. Essentially, he can have a maximum attack weight of 4 on this attack. However, if he has Dalahan at the end of the attack, he will lose 10 sanity, and this attack can inflict up to 5 sinking and 2 impending ruin. And what impending ruin does is it'll change the panic type of the enemy to ruin. And then, however, if they do not have a panic type, or if their panic type cannot be removed, they will instead just have a negative 10% chance to flip heads, which is still nice, but yeah. So Wild Hunt Heathcliff has 2 skill 3s. His first one's called Requiem, and what it does is on a clash win, he'll heal 10 sanity, but if he has Dalahan, he will instead use Lament, Mourn, and Despair, which we explain here in just a moment. But for Requiem, what it does is has increased coin power for every 3 sinking on a target. It will do an extra 12% damage for every coffin he has. When he uses it, he'll gain 1 coffin, and then if this skill were to kill a target, he will gain 2 coffin. This skill can inflict up to 6 sinking count and like about 8 normal sinking, depending on if he kills and if he hits, and also if it has impending ruin. And then for skill 3-2, Lament, Mourn, and Despair, when he uses it, he will lose 15 sanity. He'll get increased base power for every sinking on a target, every 5 sinking on a target with a max of 4. He will deal more damage the further he is away from his SP value is from 45. He will deal extra damage for every coffin on himself, extra damage for every Dalahan on himself. He will gain 2 coffins upon use. If he kills the target, he'll gain 3 coffin. If he is at less than 0 sanity, he'll heal 10 sanity. And if he's at less than 0 sanity, he'll heal more further it is from 0, essentially 2 for every missing SP with a max of 50. At the end of the turn, he'll lose Dalahan. This can inflict a lot of sinking and increases the stagger threshold of enemies, and if he kills someone, he'll also heal sanity as well. So his counter, aka his defense skill, is how he's able to gain Dalahan. And it's just a nice basic counter. Has increased coin power for every 3 sinking on a target with a max of 2. Every time he wants to clash with it in a turn, he'll gain offense level. And he also inflicts sinking and sinking count with it. And of course, if he doesn't have Dalahan active, he'll gain Dalahan. But if he has Dalahan active, he'll lose Dalahan. And now for his passives. If at the turn start he has a stack of Dalahan, he'll mount Dalahan. However, every time he mounts him, he will lose 5 sanity. If 3 of his allies have been killed in the encounter, he'll gain Dalahan automatically. If he gains stagger or has raised stagger threshold while he's recovering from when he has Dalahan, he will instead recover from sanity, and the stagger he cannot actually recover from. He does not mount Dalahan, and he gains 1 target when he's killing. He gains 1 coffin when he's killing a target. So for this Heathcliff second passive, he'll do extra damage for every sinking there is on a target. If an ally were to take damage that will consume them, he would consume 2 coffins to apply a Wild Hunt to them. And here on screen is going to show you what it does. It essentially is a quote-unquote revive that allows them to do 1 more attack before they actually die, with increased damage because of the 2 damage up. And as well, if it's from Wuthering Heights or the Edgar family, they'll also deal an extra bit more damage on top of that. And then his last passive, 1 ally with the highest sanity will deal extra damage to targets with less than 0. If the target has less than 0, it'll do even more damage the further it is away from 0. However, if the target does not have SP, they will just inflict one more sinking, potency, and count on a skill and a coin attacks. 3 times per turn. So personally, I like this IB. It's got AoE attacks, does good amount of sinking, and you know, based off of Earl King Heathcliff, one of my favorite bosses in the entire game, with one of my favorite themes in the entire game, which I'm going to be having as the background music for the song, for the video. So yeah, I recommend getting him, but there are some other better choices because he is a freaking Season 4 identity, but still, pretty nice.